At the start of 2020, it seemed that the wheels had come off for stock car racing in the second city as Birmingham Wheels Raceway had seemingly closed its doors. But thanks to the vision and determination of Mr. Philip Bond, Mr. Pete Gould and a whole army of helpers and followers, the raceway was rekindled midway through the 2020 season, and tonight the Brisca Formula 2 stock cars make their only visit of the season to this iconic venue. 40 cars are in attendance here at Birmingham Wheels Raceway for a full format meeting with 5 races. We'll also have a look at a couple of our support formulas, going racing American style with the UK Modifieds and the American Cup cars featuring in their races under the floodlights. Half cars for Brisca F2 Heat number 1 then, 20 cars out there. First 10 will go through to the meeting final. Names to watch out there include the Novice of the Year from 2019, 183 Charlie Ginchard. Also out there 817 Tim Bailey in among the red tops, a man who grew up racing here in the mini stocks. Leading lady of Brisca F2 Jess Ward now at the red top as well in car number 86. Liam Bentham goes from superstar in 488. There's Jordan Thakra at the back of the blue tops in number 324. So 20 cars, 10 to go through to the final. There's Chevy Mills, also this year's Novice of the Year leader Harley Burns in car number 992, starting alongside the 817 Tim Bailey, Charlie Ginchard and Liam Bentham, the two superstars from the back. This will be a 16-lap race. Away goes the second half of the grid. They started way before the front of the grid did. The pace car was still on the track, and so that start is aborted. Blues and Reds took it upon themselves to start the race there. The pace car and the start marshal would start the race, not the drivers. Warnings given. Sam Birchall on the front row of the grid there in the number 10 car, also a newcomer this year. Gary Wrench at the front of the yellows, along with Reese Winch in 411. Gary Wrench's nephew, of course, Luke, won the Silver Roof last year. Start Marshall holds them under yellow flags. The Race Quick sponsored raceway. Mark Gibbs there on the front of the blue tops alongside Josh Weir. Gibbo, a very quick driver around the Wheels Raceway. To see him featured pretty sharp in this one. Local lad Ben Bates behind them in car number 161. The Ford Mondeo pace car leads them round. They get away this time. Chevy Mills, the man from the southwest, at the front of the red tops alongside Jess Ward in the 86. Great to see her up at red tops. Had a few wins at Skegness this year. They get away this time, and it's sideways Sam Birchall who leads them off in car number 10. He's run wide there, takes the 746 car of Gary Kitching out wide with him, and a bit of a schmozzle already amongst the blue graders. Where is Ben Bate going? Wallop straight into the wall. That's where. Comes back in, bounces off somebody else. Well, amazingly, they've all survived that. A complete mess there from the blues and reds. I think Jordan Thakra was in the middle of that. He's kept it going. He's ahead of Tim Bailey in the 817. We ride with Tim down towards turn 1, and the bumper goes into the back of Jordan Thakra. Mind our camera. That was, I think, possibly Liam Bentham putting the boot in there in the 488 car. We're going to challenge on from the lead. 544 of Will Adams tries to take the lead away from Sam Birchall. Both of these two newcomers to Brisca F2 in 2020. It's Will Adams who's taken the lead. Ben Bate out of it. He's on the centre. He'll have to go in the Consolation race. Don't forget the first 10 finishers go straight to the final from the hits. 411 of Reese Winch attacking the 746. That's Gary Kitching. Past him down the back straight, past the newly repainted Wheels Raceway signboard there. Famous feature of this raceway. Which we're under fire. That's from Chevy Mills in 538s. Plenty of action still all the way down the order. 844 in there, Jack Prosser among others, but your early leader is Will Adams in car number 544 along with Sam Birchall in the number 10. They go through, pointed through by the start marshal. Reese Winch in 411 is up into third position, debuting a new car here tonight. He'd love to christen its appearance with a victory. Goes past the number 10 of Sam Birchall up into second place. Now down to the business of trying to catch Will Adams for the lead. There's Harley Burns rather in the 992. Will Burns, he's the Ginetta champion this year. Slowing up there Jordan Thakra, possibly some problems in that first turn chaos. Tim Bailey, our onboard cameraman, goes past him. Now closing on Gary Wrench in the 359. Liam Bentham coming under fire. The bumper goes in there from Charlie Ginchard in 183. The two superstar graders battling it out amongst themselves. Bentham from Leyland in Lancashire. Charlie Ginchard, the former national mini stocks gold top, of course, still only in his teens. Coming out wide there, the 115 car of Ben Fairbrother, the former Grimley Raceway driver from down near Worcester. Jordan Thacker has come to a stop on the outside of turns 3 and 4 up against the wall. Here's the battle for the lead. Reese Winch has caught Will Adams, and the yellow grade are looking to make a move here as they go down the back straight, trying to get the bumper in. There's still a few laps to go though. Adams hanging on. Made quite a splash in his first few appearances in Brisca F2 has Will. Made a couple of meetings so far with a reduced schedule this year. 183 Charlie Ginchard on the back of Gibbo in 578 Mark Gibbs. Said these two would rise through to the front of the field. He gets the bumper in there on Gibbo. Liam Bentham will take advantage of that as well. Goes through on the inside at turn 4. Now they're trying to catch Sam Birchall. This is the battle for third place. With Reese Winch still battling with Will Adams for the lead. They're a little way up the road. Just got a glimpse of them there. Birchall third, Ginchard is fourth, then it's Bentham, Gibbs and Jack Prosser behind them in 844. Now Ginchard goes through, past Sam Birchall in the 10, the white grader. Gone new to stock car racing. The grades go white, yellow, blue, red and superstar. With more points you've scored in previous meetings, the higher your grade, the further back on the grid you start. 578 of Gibbs under fire from Jack Prosser, the yellow grader in 844. Will Adams still just about hanging on to his lead, meanwhile, ahead of Reese Winch. Here they are, ultimate lap. White grader ahead of yellow, and they're coming up to lap one of the white tops. That's Ben Spence ahead of them in 9:03. And towards turns 3 and 4 is Reese Winch waiting to launch a last bend attack here. Into the last lap we go then. Is the back marker going to impede them on this final turn? 544 Will Adams. Can he hang on around this final turn for his first Birmingham win? Reese Winch is going to lunge in. There goes the bumper in. That's how you do it. Can he out-drag Will Adams to the line? Looks like he's going to do it. Reese Winch just takes the win on the line ahead of Will Adams. The rest of them come home behind. I think it's going to be Charlie Ginchard in third place. Confirm the rest of the places when we have them. Good opening race of this only meeting of the season here at Birmingham for the Brisca Formula 2 stock cars. It's a yellow Grado, christens his new car with a victory. The Laser Fab sponsored car of 411. Reese Winch takes the victory in Brisca F2 Heat number 1. We'll confirm the top 10 in a second, see who goes through to the meeting final. Just a couple of retirements there as well. We lost Ben Bates and George Thacker early on. It's a win for Reese Winch by a tenth of a second ahead of Will Adams, out dragging him to the line. Charlie Ginchard taking third ahead of fellow superstar Liam Bentham. Then Mark Gibbs fifth ahead of Jack Prosser. Early pace setter Sam Birchall in seventh ahead of Harley Burns. Tim Bailey and Chevy Mills complete the 10 qualifiers for the final.
Heat 1 winner, 411 Reese Winch, and first time back at Birmingham in nearly 12 months for F2s.
Yeah, it was a good race. Glad to be back. It's one of my favourite tracks, and first time racing in this car, so it was a good race. Yeah.
And Birmingham is one of them tracks. As a lower grader, you get away at the front, you take some catching.
Yeah, got quite lucky. Got a fairly decent start, but to be fair, white top did get away, and he took a bit of catching, but managed to get there in the end, and yeah.
Yeah, it did actually take you until the last corner to get him.
Yeah. I was sort of anticipating the end, and it come a bit sooner than I thought. But
well, now you've got a bit of a break until the final, and see what you do in that.
Yeah, we've got about 17 races to go, I think. So,
well, best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
The other half of the Brisca F2 entry out on track for heat number 2 then. Have a look who we've got to watch in this one. Well, the National Points Championship leader is out there, number 24, John Palmer, starting from the back. The younger of the Thacker brothers, Harley, in number 9. Two West Country visitors as well, including Julian Coombs all the way from Cornwall. Dan Fallows should go well here in number 581. Also got Northern Irish visitor Brad McKinstry in number 747. A couple of leading ladies as well, 200 Amy Webster, and also down there is number 390, which is Jessica Smith from the famous Brisca F1 family. Maybe we'll see her in the F1 someday. Also there at the back of the Blues, number 732, that's former double world champion Daz Kitson. Unusual to see him down at Blue Top. See Wayne Watch up at red grade, number 920, another West Countryman. It's 239 on the front of the grid, that's Michael Johnston behind the pace car. Revs begin to rise again, the back of the grid gets going long before the pace car has picked up the speed there, but this time the race gets underway. It's a rather impatient and unruly starts here tonight. It's the first race we saw aborted, but this time they get away. Slightly messy start. And John Palmer there, the number 24, the points leader, has made up a whole swathe of places already from the back of the field. Daz Kitson gets taken wide there. Aaron Veit in there as well in 184. Your early leader is number 751 of Les Smart. We're on board with Jessica Smith in 390 and wallop straight into the back of a tangle there between Harrison Bryant and David Shearing. She goes with Brad McKinstry, our Northern Ireland visitor, in car number 747, getting past John Palmer. There's 801, the very brightly painted car of Jack Cave, Captain Caveman as he's known. His car's still stuck on the outside of the turn there, Bryant and Shearing. 828 there, Julian Coombs could come under fire. Aaron Bate gets a wallop from the 24 of John Palmer. He calls himself Mr. Box Office. He always provides talking points, certainly. Line of bumper work going in there. Harley Thakra putting the boot in the yellow car, number 9 there towards the back of that group. There's a challenge on the front of the field. Jessica Smith on the back of one of the white tops. On board with Jess as she goes into the turn there. Spins that white top around. I think that was Les Smart in the 751. So that's going to let Jack Cave, I think, through into the lead. 801. In go the bumpers again. Brad McKinstry on the back of 184 Aaron Bate. That's taken Palmer wide as well, I think. Well, it's much livelier race, certainly in the early stages compared to heat number 1, and McKinstry gets taken wide again there. I think that was Palmer putting the boots in. Chris McCullough in 522 in there as well. Good to see him back out. Not seen much of him this year. Aaron Bate now spins him around. The Blue Graders coming through on the inside. This is mayhem in the midfield, and now in we go into turn 1. Wallop straight in goes Harley Thakra, courtesy of a very big run there by Aaron Bate in the 184. What was that all about? 24 John Palmer continues on. This race pretty explosive so far, it has to be said, and we're only halfway through it. Your leader is Jack Cave in car number 801, I think, but there's so much going on out there. We've well and truly lost Harley Thakra. He got walloped straight in. My goodness me, that was a big hit there from Aaron Bate, just ran him all the way in. I don't know what that was all about. I think the caution flags are coming out there as the 184 gets past 200 of Amy Webster, but yes, the caution is coming out, possibly for Harley Thakra. There's your leader, it is Jack Cave in 801. Took the lead when Les Smart was spun out by Jess Smith, I think. There's the problem, we've got a piece of metal, that's a wheel guard off one of the cars on track. Now let's see what happens here. So line of contact, McKinstry on the back of it, Bate in the middle, and then wallop straight in, Harley Thakra on the front of it. Well, Aaron Bates, we've normally seen him warring with James Riggle in Brisca F2, but Riggle not here tonight, so maybe he's picked a new driver to battle with. They came into the turn there. McKinstry got a hit in as well, but it was Bate with the main impact. And there you see that piece of metal flying away. That was another reason for the caution, that lump of metal on the track. I think that might have come off John Palmer's car. Here it is from McKinstry's point of view. He just picks him up, and there's the piece of metal. And he was lucky there, Brad McKinstry. It has come off Palmer's car, but if that mesh on the front of the cab of McKinstry's car hadn't been there, that wheel guard could have hit Brad McKinstry in the face. Spectacular stuff there from the Brisca F2s here at Birmingham. Jack Cave is your leader in number 801. The Blue Grader, Captain Caveman. He's won the white and yellow grade series title here at Birmingham in the past, so he knows the track very well. Getting ready for a restart then. Looks like it's Tristan Claydon second, Julian Coombs third, and Palmer is up to fourth in the 24 from the back. But let's have a look as he goes to it. Yes, it is his car that's missing a wheel guard, I've just noticed there. So he is likely to be flagged in. Wait and see what happens. Julian Coombs is taken wide to Cornishman by Palmer, who goes up to third. There's Dan Kent battling it out with the 522 of Chris McCullough. Daz Kitson, the former world champion, under fire from Aaron Bate. He's sticking the bumper in on everything here in 184. Well, he always does, Aaron Bates, the tarmac specialist. Battle between Kitson and Bate once again, and here's Tristan Claydon, 210, another man who grew up racing mini stocks here at Birmingham before moving to saloon stocks and subsequently to the F2. He's lost second place there to John Palmer in the 24. Still Jack Cave with the lead, then it's Palmer, Claydon. Fourth is this man, Brad McKinstry in the 747. And going like a Boeing 747 in this one. He gets the bumper in on Tristan Claydon now to move up to third. Palmer's going for the lead as they come into the home straight. But if you look at his right rear wheel, you'll see the metal guard that protects the wheel from flying up into the air if the wheel should come off isn't there. Palmer about to take the lead, and if the steward of the meeting has spotted that, Palmer is likely to be flagged in. He'll get the technical disqualification flag, which is the white flag with the red cross. Brad McKinstry was nearly hit by that wheel guard as it came off Palmer's car. Gets the bumper in on Cave to move up into second place. And yes, there is the flag going out. The white flag with the red cross has gone out, so John Palmer, even if he wins this on the road, he is not going to feature in the results. He will be removed from the results. The car in an unsafe condition. He's going to have to either pull off or he will be disqualified from the results. There's the white and red flag going out as we go into the last lap. Well, Palmer's going to take the checkered flag, but it's going to be the car that crosses the line in second that is going to win, and it's going to be Brad McKinstry. Round the final turn they come then. Palmer will take the flag, but the win will go to the Northern Irishman, Brad McKinstry in 747. Jack Cave next home. And I think that was Dan Fallows in behind him. We'll check the results in a moment. But the man who crossed the line in first place, number 24, John Palmer, we saw him get the white flag with the red cross there. Technical disqualification for losing his wheel guard midway through the race. Car not in a safe condition, and he will have to go in the Consolation. He'll be removed from the results, and your winner will be Brad McKinstry. Well, compared to the first heat, that was a pretty chaotic race. John Palmer, is he signalling to race control there in number 24? Well, he calls himself Mr. Box Office. We said he always provides a talking points, but he's lost the win there. Brad McKinstry takes the win ahead of Jack Cave by 0.8 of a second. Dan Fallows third. Aaron Veit hitting everything in sight in that one in fourth, ahead of Coombs, Claydon, Amy Webster in seventh, then Chris McCullough, Daz Kitson and Wayne Wadge completing the 10 qualifiers for the final.
Heat 2 winner, 747, Bradley McKinstry. Although John Palmer crossed the line first, obviously he was excluded, you got the win.
Yeah, I'd say John was definitely quicker, but I suppose it is what it is. Still got the win, it was good.
It was a bit of a chaotic start as well. The Reds had all gone, the pace car still hadn't even got off the track, but that helped you.
Yeah, that was it. We got through, right, I think up the fifth or so off until the yellow flags came out. It was good.
And there was a big battle going on with all the Reds, you, 184, John Palmer, but you were certainly throwing some bumpers in that one.
Yeah, that's it. You need to get on the move.
Same again in the final?
Hopefully, let's see.
Well, best of luck.
Good man, cheers.
Under the floodlights for the Consolation event here at Birmingham Wheels Raceway. 19 cars out there. The only eligible cars not out is, I believe, Harley Thackeray, still making repairs after that big wallop in his hit. There's Jordan Thackeray, his brother, lining up alongside 564 of David Shearing. We've come to a halt. Somebody hasn't got away. I can just see an aerofoil over there on the back straight. Someone hasn't got going. Car just being checked. Names to watch in this one. We've already mentioned the two blue graders there. John Palmer, of course, is out in this one, having been disqualified from his heat for losing that wheel guard. Also out there we have Jess Ward, number 86. She's the only red top in this race. Local lad Ben Bate in 161. Jessica Smith is out in this one as well. Of ladies looking to qualify for the final. It's just getting that car going out. It's 915. That's Jamie Jones, who hadn't got away initially there, so he got a push start, I think, there. He'll join the front of the white tops. Let's look out for Josh Weir, another newcomer this year in 736. Gary Wrench in 359. There's the white tops. Back of them, Jamie Ward Scott in 881. He's carrying our onboard camera for this race. Jamie, one of the organisers of the Brisca F2 Heat series, along with #LoveF2s on Facebook. It was during the lockdown period. I believe it was Chalet Redanas, the Dutch driver, who won that, if memory serves me correctly. So 16 laps then, another 10 cars to go through to the final. Here we go then. Comes on and they're away, and Jamie Jones already on the attack on the back of Les Smart there, moves him wide, takes the lead into the first and second bend. They're all the way well. Dan Kent being taken wide there in the 976 car. John Palmer already looking to make progress on the back, and Ben Bate lunges at David Shearing, wallop straight in, they both go. Now that's a continuation of a contretemps between those two from Skegness a week ago, and it's come to a head once again. Shearing and Bate, and Ben Bate are attacking banger racing style on the back of David Shearing there, takes them both out. Shearing not happy there, and understandably so. That was a little over aggressive there from Ben Bates. David Shearing left facing the wrong way. Bates got going again in among the leaders. There's Jamie Jones in 915, our early race leader ahead of Les Smarts. And that's a black flag going out for Ben Bates. He's been disqualified. He's going to have to pull off, but he's still attacking the race leader. Ben, the local lad, another man who grew up racing mini stocks at Birmingham Wheels Raceway, pulls off to the centre. Good track to learn to race on this. You can see how wide the tarmac oval is. A lot of novices began their careers here. On board with Jamie Ward-Scott in the 881, going through into second place behind Jamie Jones. So in there, that's Jessica Smith in 390. Trying to come through into second and try and hunt down our leader. So it could soon be Alias Smith and Jones for the lead of this race, but not if that's going to happen, as Jess Smith gets some bumper, and that's taken Jamie Ward-Scott out as well. Couldn't quite see who that was. Jess Ward gets spun out as well in the 86 car there. Couldn't quite see who put the bumper in on Jess Smith there. It was one of the white graders, I think. So the race calms down again. Harrison Bryant now wallops the 751 of Les Smart. Back on board with Jessica Smith. She's got going again, but quite a way behind. Ben Spence goes through in the 903, bouncing over those rumble strips there on the inside. They're a bit more rough than they look. You don't want to take your car over those. I hit one of those rumble strips while driving a stocks car once, and it felt like it launched me about 10 feet into the air. Not a happy experience, I'll have you know. Rumblers going in there, the 746 of Gary Kitching on the back of Ben Spence. So the mainly lower grade field battles it out in this one. Jamie Jones is still up front. We'll pick up the leaders in just a moment. Slowing up there, that's Jess Smith, I think, pulling off. So maybe some damage from that little contretemps early on. Here's our leader, Jamie Jones. He's under fire from Jordan Thakra in the 324. He goes through down the back straight. So Thakra now your leader. It's not been a happy night for the Thakras. They both failed to finish in their heats. Jordan Thakra, who began his career in the junior stocks carts a few years ago before following his father Jim into Brisca F2. The battle between a couple of the blue graders. That's Josh Weir. I think that's Ben Goddard behind him. No relation, incidentally. Sliding about there. David Shearing's got going again after a bit of banger racing with Ben Bate early on. There's got a few developing at Skegness over the last couple of meetings, as we mentioned, between those two drivers. It's reared its head again here at Ben's home turf of Birmingham. Dan Kent coming under fire now from Josh Weir in the 736. There's Ben Fairbrother, 115 ahead of him. Now where is John Palmer in all of this? There he is. We just caught a glimpse of the flashing superstar lights as, whoops, Jordan Thakra nearly falls over the 86 car there of Jess Ward as he laps her. Nearly spun into him there as Palmer gets through. So Palmer's now second, that means there's a couple of laps to go. Is John Palmer going to be able to catch Jordan Thakra for the win here? The gap might be a little bit too large. They're coming up on a back marker. So one of the white tops being lapped there. That's the 239 of Michael Johnston. Palmer trying to catch Jordan Thakra for the victory. It's Harrison Bryant, number 91, in third place. We saw him tangle with Dave Shearing in his heat. On the last lap now, down the back straight. I don't think Palmer's going to get close enough for a last bend lunge. He's trying. Quite do it though, he's not close enough, and it's a win for the Blue Raider. Jordan Thakra takes the consolation. Second place goes to John Palmer, behind a bit of lap traffic, and it's Harrison Bryant who takes third. Looks like Jamie Jones held on for fourth place there. Well done to the White Raider. Get his car going at the start of the race, had to get a push start, but Jamie at fourth place. The top 10 will go into the final. Confirm who they are in a second. We know our top three though. Well done to Jordan Thakra, who takes the victory in car number 324. Was carried to the British and European Championships a few years ago by his father Jim Thakra. That's Jordan and Harley making headlines in Brisca F2. Jordan taking the win in that one by 1.5 seconds ahead of John Palmer. Harrison Bryant third ahead of early leader Jamie Jones. Gary Wrench completing the top five. Les Smart a good sixth ahead of Ben Spence and Mark Adkins. Dan Kent and Josh Weir rounding out the 10 qualifiers for the final.
Consolation winner 324 Jordan Thakra. Just, you had John coming at the end.
Yeah, I seen John coming in the mirror, and John's gonna have a go from wherever he is. To be fair, that's what he's like. Good hard driver, but I could see him coming. I sort of kept a good distance, but yeah, it was good. So, kept him where I wanted him, and it was all right. Yeah.
And the heats didn't quite go to plan for either of you really as well. It's unusual to see you in a consolation.
Yeah, well, last year I was in all the consolations, so I kind of got a bit used to them. But this year we've had quite a good year so far, so it was a bit weird to be in one. But I had a few electrical difficulties in the heat, which put us out of it when I was in a good place. But put me in a good place for the consolation and managed to get a win, so happy days.
And after the hard-hitting heats as well, you've got to get away in this final.
Yeah, that's it. There's so many good drivers here. Like I said, there's John, there's Ginshard, there's Aaron, Bradley. If you don't get away, then you're going to end up in the wall, basically. So we don't want that damage.
Well, good luck then.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And now for something completely different. Let's take a look at one of our support formulas. These are the UK Modifieds. 10 cars out there. It'll be a 13-lap race around the Birmingham Wheels Raceway. Normally these cars race on shale ovals. They're American-built, known as either mod lights or dwarf cars in America. They're small replicas of the big dirt modifieds that race on the bigger American ovals. Powered by superbike engines. 10 of them out there, and we're underway with the meeting final. It was the Tomlinson family who dominated the heats. 885 Dave and son 888 Alfie taking a heat win each. There's Alfie in the Triple Eight battling with Ben White in the 85, and there's Dave. He's tangled with 26 of Sean Logan in the early stages. They've gone into the wall on the very first lap. Leader is 167. That's Dougie Brasher, the former V8 Hot Stocks driver, who's got the lead. An ex-Murray Harrison owned car. Yes, the Harrison family have raced these cars in the past. Who's giving chase to him there? I apologise in advance, it's a little tricky to see the numbers on some of these cars under the floodlights with the multicoloured paint jobs they use. The blue car there, that's Roy Slocum, 513. Many years a Brisca F2 racer, as was Sean Logan, who's got going again there in the 26 car. Dave Tomlinson raced Brisca F2 very successfully. He was a World of Shale champion. 885 won that in the late 90s on a night at Stoke, where admittedly you couldn't see the shale on the Stoke track because it was completely underwater. It became known as the Big Soak at Stoke, that race. And Dave won it after only about 5 cars at the distance. Number 70 in there, that's Brent Russell, we just got a glimpse of with the yellow numbers. He began his career here at Birmingham. There's Brent in the 70, chasing the 56, that's Jeff Beresford. Brent's first race in a formula called Incarol. It's named after the host promotion here, Incar Race, in a Citroen Saxo. It's gone through into second there, chasing Dougie Brasher. Quite a few ex-Brisca F2 and V8 drivers out there. As we mentioned, the Harrison family have raced in these cars. Murray, along with his 2 sons, Ryan, the former Brisca F1 National Points champion, and James Harrison as well. They actually locked out the podium in an event here at Birmingham for these UK Modifieds a few years ago. Dougie Brasher in one of Harrison's old cars, holding off Brent Russell in number 70 for the lead there. It's Jeff Beresford still third, ahead of earlier heat winner Alfie Tomlinson, who I think is the youngest man in this race. All-car battle for third place. Roy Slocum in the blue 513, many years of Brisca F2 racer. 85 Ben White, started his career at Stoke and Bellevue, among others, competing with the Star Tracks Hot Rods. The other runners in this race, 29 there, Anthony Ritchie in the blue car. Also got Ollie Redgate, number 426. Sean Logan we've seen in the 26, the white car, and Dave Tomlinson, who is out of the race after that earlier tangle. Coming towards the end then of our UK Modifieds final. Good pace from these cars, very quick indeed in a straight line, powered by Suzuki Hayabusa motorcycle engines. Jeff Beresford battling with Alfie Tomlinson and Ben White there, almost 3 wide over the line. White up the inside into turn 1, he goes through. Alfie Tomlinson lucks in as well to take Jeff Beresford, moves him back a couple of places into the clutches of Roy Slocum. The top 2 are well away at the front. Oh, look out, a spun car there, that's Anthony Ritchie in the 29. They managed to avoid him, but only just. Brent Russell still hasn't managed to get past Dougie Brasher. I can tell you he's heading for victory in this meeting final for the UK Modifieds. You only see them occasionally at Birmingham. They normally race on the shale ovals, such as Kings Lynn and Mildenhall, and regulars at Stoke as well, of course. The Stoke Speedway sadly closing its doors last year. Here come the leaders then. They're coming round to start their final lap. They've got Sean Logan ahead of them there in the 26. Dougie Brasher, successful V8 Hot Stocks racer in years gone by. Brent Russell, the former Incarod racer, trying to close up on him. They lap the 29 of Anthony Ritchie, who's recovered from his spin. I don't think Russell's quite going to catch the 167, and Brasher takes the victory in our UK Modifieds final. Brent Russell second, and the battle for third goes all the way to the line. Looks like Ben White took out third place. Jeff Beresford and Roy Slocum dropped away there in the closing stages. 9 cars going the distance in that one. There's Ollie Redgate, the pink car. It's about to be lapped by our race leader when the checkered flag went down. So Dougie Brasher taking the win by half a second ahead of Brent Russell, with Ben White completing the podium, Alfie Tomlinson in 4th place, Jeff Beresford completing the top 5. Roy Slocum was 6th ahead of Ollie Redgate, then further back Anthony Ritchie after his spin. Sean Logan, who went off on the first lap, recovering for 9th. Dave Tomlinson, the only non-finisher. Great stuff so far on our return to Birmingham Wheels Raceway for the only time in 2020. It is great to be back here in the second city, spiritual homes of Brisca F2. over the years. We'll see in the second half of our programme who's going to win the final. We'll take a quick insert from the American Cup cars, one of our support formulas as well. But for now, we'll take a short break. Don't go away.